know, I've often thought back to about a year ago now when this current government got into power in 10 Downing Street. And if you remember, I thought it was very disingenuous of the Prime Minister at the time, Sir Keir Starmer, to openly say the adults are now in charge. And you kind of think, wow, what would this be like if children were in charge? Of course, earlier this week, we found out that Sir Keir Starmer is going to let children be in charge of our future. That's you and I, yes. People who've never really had a job, ever run a business, or indeed pay taxes, because their plan is from being 16 years old, well, suddenly you'll be able to vote. This isn't a problem though really for the government, you see, because like say Bridget Phillipson, the Education Secretary, she's never had a job. She's a career politician. So when these businesses, a little bit like Rachel Reeves, our current Chancellor of the Exchequer, when they go bust, they've never run anything. Rachel's from accounts. She worked for a corporate company who literally secured everything for her, her pension, her job. So you understand just how bad this whole situation is. When you look back a few years ago, you saw people who were in positions of power who'd actually either run a company and came with some gravitas. You thought, okay, right, they must know what they're doing because they were a CEO or they ran something, or you know what I mean, very successfully. Now it's interesting, it's all about keeping your job, keeping exactly the power that you have. And now Sir Keir Starmer and his oily team, some people might suggest, are planning to do this time though to the mainstream media. As ever, let me explain. Morning chums, lovely to see you today. Thank you so much for your time, and as ever, welcome one and all. It's an interesting thing, isn't it, you know, because I think we've all contemplated the opportunity of being in politics at some point. You know, what does an MP do? What's it like in the House of Commons? And as many of you know, this is my other job. I see these people firsthand. They've been in the studio next to me, and it's distinctly gone down over the years that I've been in this position, because before they were in it because they wanted to make a change. Now they talk about book deals, TV shows, branding, influencing their Instagram feed. It's all about them. You can see that with the people say, and I don't know whether you agree on this, but I do not believe any politician should be hosting any show on television. It's too influency, you know. The bottom line is you can create an imagery every single night and suddenly you're saying to people, vote for me. It's a very powerful tool. This is the problem for Sir Keir Starmer. He doesn't really have a personality. He rates now worse than any single person ever in the history of polling for British Prime Ministers. And the mainstream media have very, very quickly turned on him. The ones that he thought were going to love, adore and completely worship him. So his team, and as ever, I have to say allegedly, but this is 100%, they've decided they're going to love bomb, as the kids say, the mainstream media. Now, what they're doing behind the scenes is, particularly if you work for the BBC, Sky, LBC, all of those big names that they consider to be very still powerful, yet very few people are now watching. Well, all the main political commentators, reporters, etc., they're sourcing your birthday, they're sourcing your likes, whether you like, you know, a certain restaurant, whether you like to have a certain perfume, if you're a lady, maybe not. And the other side of it is that they're going to start to make sure that you feel connected to 10 Downing Street by offering birthday wishes, Christmas cards, events, if you say have maternity leave, stuff like that. You see, Keir believes he can win back the mainstream media by reminding them why they loved him so much in the first place. Well, this isn't necessarily working in his favour because, as I pointed out before, when you consider also that these celebrities that loved him in the first place have now apparently turned against him, including the ubiquitous Carol Vorderman, who openly said, oh, he's not the leader that I thought he would be. This is Brainbox Carol, who we're all supposed to think is terrific and very, very highly educated. Clearly not. So when you consider this now, this is the optics that they're working on. Forget businesses crumbling around you, the fact that we're flooded with daily migrants, and more importantly, it's more dangerous on our streets, buses, tubes. This is exactly what 10 Downing Street feel is applicable to making Keir Starmer popular again. He's going to make sure that those people leading the charge will only lead it with, of course, some kindness when they do their reports. Do you think this is going to work, truly? Neil Shaw in Kensington, London.